Man, Larry's I mean, anybody would want him on his team. Like, man, there's not a team in NFL history that would look at this guy and be like, I don't want this guy. Like, what I like about Larry, but even though I don't think he's gonna win against Carolina, is because the rest of the Cardinals, everyone was playing like not to lose. They're playing timid. Like Larry's is the type of guy that you would want, in this kind of situation, because he's gonna just go that extra mile. He's gonna run through that guy. He's gonna put his body on the line. He's gonna take this blindside hit. He's gonna, instead of running out of bounds, he's gonna try to get those extra yards to go there. I mean, it's risky, but I mean, in this situation, going to the Super Bowl, these are the guys that you want who have that mentality and the ability to do so. You know what I mean? So, you gotta love what Larry Fitz is doing. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna win though, because granted, yeah, you got the heart and the skill to do so, but before you start working as wide receiver, you got to get the ball first. And I feel like Carolina's going to get to Carson Palmer to the point where he doesn't even get enough of an opportunity to affect the game. You know what I mean? At least as much as he wants. And, everybody, Luke Kuechly, man, for some reason, like, this guy just seems to always know what you're trying to do. Like, he's like an invisible linebacker or something, man. Like, everybody just, it's always like, I don't know if you guys ever played Madden. Of course, some of y'all play Madden.
Yeah.
And, like, you ever have those once-in-a-while plays where you throw it, and it's like, you want to just kind of scream, like, it's fucking bullshit, but there's no one else to blame but yourself. Like, that's Luke Kuechly in real life. You know what I mean? He's always just that guy. And on top of that, he's the guy, like, in Madden.
He's the glitch in Madden. He's the glitch that'll intercept the ball and there's nobody around him. He's that damn glitch.
He's that guy where, like, you get the other guy's going to throw like 3 possible picks and they're always going to drop it. And as soon as you throw one his way, he's going to run it back at least like 50 yards. It's like, yo, how come that can't happen for me? You know what I mean? That's Luke Kuechly. And I just think, them going against Carson Palmer, I mean, I respect what Carson has done. I think he's had a phenomenal year. I think he's like tied for second for MVP. But I don't have faith in him in this moment going against that Carolina team and the type of momentum they're going to. Plus, Cardinals, they're coming off of like, how do we improve the game? Panthers coming out, how do we close them out better? It's like, it's not really a matter of can we get the lead. It's like, can we just hold on to it? The Cardinals is more so like, can we climb uphill enough to get a lead? You know what I mean? Yeah. If we're talking those two situations, I got to go with the boy Cam.
All right.
I love Larry Fitz, but I think he's going to get him.
All right. Let's move forward and ask this question here. What will you rely on more if you're the Cardinals, your running or your pass game? And I'll start with you, Kevin.
Rely on Jesus.
That's all you got.
Pray.
Catfish. Who you? If you're the Cardinals, and
they don't have nobody on their name Jesus, do they?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it might be cold. They might have to run the ball. It depends how this Hurricane Jonas brothers.
Hurricane Nick Jonas.
Yeah, Nick Jonas storm is how cold it is. It's difficult to throw the ball in the weather. We all know that. Not to run the ball, and then we'll see. But Larry Fitzgerald again could be the difference, and that's the only really thing I see that the Cardinals have coming in is he's so talented, he's so good, and he can make 2 or 3 plays that change the whole game.
Your thoughts on this, Steve?
Steve's doing the baby.
Thanks. Oh my God. It's going to boil down to see whoever does rock, paper, scissors better, realistically. You really can't be a one-man game.
It's a Vegas game.
Yeah. And, dude, I don't see what they can do to beat them. Fitzgerald's just going to have to go off again. Palmer's going to have to get protection out of this world. Man, really, that's what it's going to take, a ton of protection, ton of time. Hopefully, Fitzgerald will have a big game, maybe your running backs will do a little work here and there, can maybe get you over the 100-yard mark, but I don't see it happening. It's going to need a lot of work for them to win this game.
The one name that has to do something for Arizona to even be competitive in this game and to keep them in it, Michael Floyd.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You have to.
X Factor.
You have to watch Michael. He's not going to have. Norman's going to be running around with Fitzpatrick. Mm-hmm. He's going to be on him the whole dang game. Lloyd is going to have their second, maybe even sometimes third cornerback on him.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to look to Lloyd, and he's going to have a good game.
Got you.
There, I'm done. I'll leave on that note.
Your thoughts on this, Mike?
Man, I think, yeah, religion's a good way to go for them, man. Like, I don't know how much of a chance they got in this game, man. Like I hope Carson Palmer, he says a few Hail Marys instead of just throws them, you know what I mean? Like, because Larry, I mean, just like everybody on this podcast kind of agrees, like, it's Larry Fitz and Carson Palmer. I've seen Carson Palmer get killed this season. You know what I mean? So I can imagine him dying in this game. I can't see it.
Don't say that.
Cam in this game. I mean, figuratively speaking, I don't wish anything bad on Carson.
Don't wish that on Carson. He is old now. You gotta leave him alone.
I mean, and also Carson, like I'm kind of scared for the punishment he might take, because one, it's gonna be cold, and I mean, Carson Palmer's history, man. Like the man, every once in a while, he's the Iron Man, clutch man, and once in a while he's the guy with the bones made of the styrofoam and stuff, man. I don't know which Carson Palmer we're gonna get. He's gonna be playing in the snow. They're gonna be playing in Carolina. I mean, I respect their running game, but I mean, I don't. You say Andre Ellington, and I'm not scared. Like,
Yeah, you got Andre Ellington, and then they went to the rookie David Johnson as a late
right.
So
who had a real good year, like late in the season, came on, did pretty well.
Yeah, he'd struggle in that.
Didn't pick him up
too.
in fantasy, but
and I don't like the fact that like lately, as of late, it seems like that's when the Cardinals have been starting to go through it. You know what I mean? Like they had a more hard fought game the other day. They had a more physical game. So I feel like if you had to look at their health or whatever, they're the ones more affected by this game, going into the snow, going into territory that's not theirs. You know what I mean? And Carson Palmer, like I said, I've seen him get blown out or have more of a bad games, or more likely to have a bad game than Cam and company. Plus, it's funny, everyone says Cardinals is like the more well-rounded team. I think that's because of offensive and defense, but like the offense relies on Carson Palmer and Fitzgerald first, and if the Panthers, which they have the ability to do, to lock in on both of them, man, like I'm not saying that Carson can't, but if we're talking chances, I got to go with the other side.
All right.
I think he's really taking Carolina. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm just going out on a limb and think he's taking Carolina.
On the flip side,
I mean, he can't even dab, man. I can't trust a quarterback that can't dab. He can't even dab. You see Carson Palmer trying to dab, he looks like he's trying to land an airplane, man. Like, I can't put my money on that.
All right, who needs to have a bigger impact on the Carolinas offense side of the ball?
I am not picking this game based on who can dab the best.
Jonathan Stewart or Greg Olsen? And I go with you, Kevin. Who needs it for them to pull this out here?
Neither, because the ball's going to be riding in one guy's hands most of the game. It's going to be Cam Newton's hands. They're going to throw the ball to Olsen. Olsen will get open. Stewart will be able to get some running lanes. But this all boils down to if Cam Newton can get going both passing and running. His running and the design runs they use for Cam is what's going to be key in this game against Carolina, especially with the strength of the Arizona defense is their secondary. Even with Tyrann Mathieu out, their strength is still their secondary.
Yeah.
What's the best way to equalize their secondary? Put them design runs in where Cam's able to run at these little guys. Just like somebody said earlier, nobody wants to hit Cam. Cam looked like a truck coming right at these poor little DBs. Nobody wants to hit Cam. The key is going to be on the Cam. Who needs to have a bigger impact? Olsen does, because Olsen does more than just catch the ball. He's a good blocker as well. So Olsen's going to have that impact. But to me, the biggest impact of all is going to rely on Cam's shoulders.
All right, Steve, your thoughts on this?
I completely just your question.
Yeah, you did.
That's my job.
There you go. Steve, go ahead.
I would say Jonathan Stewart, but it really is going to boil down to Greg Olsen. I'm a big fan of the tight end.
Especially when you have one named Bud.
However, I do know Kevin likes the male tight end, but
what are you talking about? Your favorite tight end was named Bud.
If they can use your tight ends, just tight end to death, double sets or whatever,
sick,
and
man.
use those big bodies and just kill them with the pass. But again, like Kevin was saying, we know it's going to be a one-man show, Cam Newton, because he's been doing it all season. And really, at this point, there's no reason to stop doing what's getting you where you're at. However, at Greg Olsen, you got 6'4", Devin Funchess. I mean, you got Stephen Hill. I mean, use these big bodies out there, and especially with Greg Olsen being a big body and being a great tight end, I'd like to really see him put more of that to use and take some pressure off of Cam Newton. But it's going to be the Cam Newton show.
All right, Catfish.
He said Funyuns.
Yeah, I'm going with Greg Olsen as well. I mean, like you just said, he's a big guy. What is he? 6'6", 6'5", 6'5", whatever it is. I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, two people said in a row. It's the Cam Newton show. Can he control the game? If he does, they'll win going away. And that's pretty much all it is. If he doesn't control the game, if he comes out there, throws a pick early, or has a turnover early, then it'll be a different story. But it's really Cam Newton's game.
All right.
And Greg Olsen has a beautiful beard.
Man, this is going to ride on Greg Olsen's shoulders, man, because as soon as they get a few passes on them, they're going to drop. I can see it going like this. They're going to drop back after a few completions of Greg Olsen because, he's no joke and so on and so forth. And then that's going to open up the running game for both Cam and Jonathan Stewart. And I feel like Jonathan Stewart's just going to have freedom to do what he wants to do because, you're going to have to worry about running into Cam. Nobody wants to run into Cam, And Greg Olsen's already hard to cover as it is, like, number one defense or not. He's just a hard person to cover. And the last person, you just have to pick your poison in this game. And I think Greg Olsen's going to have the key because he's going to open it up for everybody else. They're going to use him to just open up the game for everybody else. It's still going to be Cam's show, but they're going to try to make sure that he doesn't get off. And one of the three, I can't see the Cardinals coming in and locking down all three of these guys,
Yeah. I'm going to definitely go with Jonathan Stewart. Like I said, the Panthers streak of 30 consecutive games.
Ooh, that's going to be
yards.
different.
Since the 1972 dynasty. But yeah, like I said, Cam is also going to be that threat as well, too, where he's going to rely on these guys. And like Catfish mentioned about, the storm up there, Jonas is going to hit hard. So you're going to lean more in the run game as well, and control the clock. And that's something that the Panthers are really good at, is control the clock.
That field looks like shit.
And so you got this amazing Cardinals defense there that is very solid and can say that they're one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL. And so they're going to have to, pick their poison against this rush here. So with that being said, their field's
going to look like teams that lose to Philadelphia 76ers.
I think. Let's keep moving.
I had to throw that in there.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
but
I had my shovel. I wanted to dig.
Thank you, but
You're welcome.
But yeah, I mean, you look at this and you just got to give respect to their rushing attack. And Jonathan Stewart had that extra week or 2 weeks to rest, and I feel like he's ready to go and be that impactful there. Now, Greg Olsen is, like Mike has said, is a beast, and he is someone that's to be reckoned with. And everybody else on this podcast has agreed that this is a beast coming from, the Bears. And this is a steal that they have got from there. So Greg Olsen's having a heck of a season. And, man, I wish Kelvin Benjamin was playing with this, and hopefully he was healthy. But next year, I cannot wait to see this team with Kelvin Benjamin. This is going to be a dangerous team. So,
but see, this is why I tell you, when guys get hurt, it elevates a person's game because he doesn't have to rely. He has to figure out different ways. Because sometimes you get to where you rely on one thing so much, and you're trying to get that individual into the game so much that it hurts your game plan. Mm-hmm. When you don't have that there to get involved with, it opens up so many more things. With Kelvin Benjamin there, you may not see Cam run as much or Cam be as effective on the zone reads and everything like that because they didn't use him a lot last year when Kelvin was there because they were trying to get Kelvin the ball a lot.
Yep.
Now you're seeing a lot different. Like I told you with Seattle. As soon as Jimmy Graham went down, they stopped trying to force feed him the ball. Everything opened up around it. So sometimes injuries like that are a blessing in disguise because it helps you look at the offense differently and open up more of the playbook to where your guy's able to succeed anymore. Mm-hmm. Cam Newton looked amazing without arguably his number one receiver. He looked 1,000 times better than he did last year. Why? Maybe because it was loose and he didn't have to worry about always trying to get the ball to this one guy, and he was able to distribute it around. So you always look at that, and the factors in there. It always always little things like that you got to look at to see where it factors in.